In the first chapter, we have written couple of programs, and in each of those programs, we have seen that right from the declaration of the statement till the return zero statement inside the main function, each statement of the program was getting executed. Okay? Each statement. That kind of uh, that is also a control structure because control moves from one sentence to another, then next, then next. Likewise, that kind of control structure we call in a programming paradigm, we call it as a sequential control structure because each statement is executed. But it may not happen when we try to solve real world problems. It may not happen, right? For example, if we consider the program we discussed yesterday, like percentile marks of a student. No, it may happen that programmer not only needs to uh, print the the percentile marks, but the user wants whether student is passed or failed, right? So in that case, we have to think, okay, how student can be declared as a pass candidate or a failed candidate, right? Now in that case, uh, the sequential control structure won't help you because in our day-to-day life now, as of now, today's example is concerned. I told you in the morning, if power comes, I will conduct a session. What does it mean? I'm taking the decision. Okay, I'm taking the decision. Decision on what basis? If power comes, I will conduct the session. Okay. So these kind of decisions need to be taken while solving various problems. Okay. So there is a specific control structure proposed by Dennis Ritchie, and it is called as a decision control structure. Right? So today's topic is decision control structure. Now, decision control structure can be implemented, right? And there are various basic terminologies and various operators to implement this. So we'll be seeing if control structure, if else control structure. If else is different from if, then nesting of if else. That means uh, one decision control structure inside another decision control structure, right? So uh, to arrive at a particular point, you need to take multiple decisions, right? Likewise, I give you an example. If power comes, right, is one decision. But if power comes and we both are available, then we will conduct the session. So there are no two conditions. One, power, I need to have power, right? Electric power. And second, both of us should have time. Okay. Then only I can conduct the session. So now there are two conditions. So one condition inside another condition, we call it is a nesting of if else. Right. Third is relational operators. These are points of this lecture or a session. So how we can take the decisions? We need to take help of relational operators. In the first chapter, we saw the mathematical operators, okay, mathematical expressions. Here, we need relational operators. We may need arithmetic operations here, but apart from that, to implement decisions, to take decisions, we need relational operators. There are also logical operators in C language. Okay, we will see that. What is the meaning of logical operators? And the last in this chapter will be ternary operators. It's a special operator in C. All these operators, relational, logical, and ternary, are uh, as it is taken by the C++ language uh, inventor. Then Java also proposed the same philosophy in their own language. So once you are comfortable while learning C, then those who want to take C++ in the future or Java in the future or even Python, okay, same control structures are there. In Python, little bit of difference is there, but the philosophy is going to be same, right? Now, out of that, the first is if control structure. Here, if is the keyword, if. Okay, we have seen what are the keywords. Keywords are the reserved words in C language. Each language has got its own set of reserved words. So if is one of them, right? If you can recall, 48 keywords are there in C. So if is keyword in C language. What is the syntax of this control structure? So there will be if, right? If has to be followed by condition inside a pair of uh, round brackets, and then it will be followed by opening and curly brace and some statements inside the this uh, pair of curly braces. Okay? So whatever you write inside a pair of curly braces, we call it as a body of if. Okay, body of if. So if condition becomes true, then this body will be executed. So condition is written using relational operator. So condition can be true or false, right? Condition can be true or false. And it has got associated values. So when condition is true, the value is non-zero. And when condition is false, the value is zero. Value of the expression is zero. So usually inside if the conditional part is basically an expression, but it has got some value. Mhm. When that expression is solved, since that expression is written using relational operators, ultimately inside that pair of round brackets, the condition is solved first, and value of that expression, if it is non-zero, the condition is true. If it is zero, condition is false. What I am telling you here is the just a theoretical part, right? We will see that how to implement while writing a program. But before that, we need to check how we can write the condition with the help of relational operators, right? So there are six different relational operators in C language. Okay. Obviously, we have gone through these kind of operators in mathematics. We have seen those, okay, from our school days. So there is a greater than or less than or greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, right? Equal to. The fifth here is a equal to. Okay. This is different from an assignment operator. The one we saw in the first chapter, that is the assignment operator, where value of the expression or a constant on the right hand side is assigned to variable on the left hand side. Whereas in case of relational operator, this equal to compares operands or values or one constant and one variable. It compares the value, right, on the right hand left hand side, okay, and not equal to. If you can recall, three categories of operators are there. Is one is the unary, another is the binary, and ternary. Unary takes one operand or single operand. Binary takes two operands, and ternary takes 3 operands, right? So all these are binary operators, right? So it needs, all of these operators need 2 operands. Got that? Uh, we will directly see the example, right? So let me share the screen of a uh, program, right? We will take very simple example to see how to write the condition, right? And these are basically very simple and what you can say silly programs, but uh, our focus right now is to understand the constructs of C language, right? Program we will write later on, but before writing program we need to understand the various constructs of C language, right? In the first chapter we saw how printf works, how scanf works, right? How you can typecast while writing a mathematical expression. So some of the things we have seen. Now here we will see how that if condition works, right? So simple program, I will write declare one variable, right, and initialize it to 5, right? Very simple. If I write here, we want to check, okay, certain thing. So if I write here, if, right, x is equal to 5, you know, x is greater than 10, right? Suppose x is less than 10, right? I'll put here printer. Some message we will print. Okay, I will write some message. Right? I have written some message inside this. So here we are writing. If we compare this program along with our program in the first chapter, there is no guarantee that each statement of this program will be executed. There is no guarantee, right? I will write here one more printf statement. Okay, outside the condition, right? Some message I have written. Okay. Now, if I compile this program, right, I run this program. So, if you observe the output, right? Hello, dear friends. Welcome to Code Mitra and outside the condition. So both statements are executed, right? So as of now, if we compare along with the programs written in the first chapter, in this program also, each statement of the program is executed. So this statement is executed and X is given me 4 bytes of memory and 5 is stored in that. This conditional part is called a conditional part, that is also executed because it checks whether X is less than 5. Now this we call it as the expression, relational expression, right? So why it is relational? Because relational operator is there. Now we are telling the compiler, check whether x is less than 10. So when this part is executed inside the machine, it fetches, it So it try to access the contents of X, which are 5 at present, right? And it will compare along with 10. So whether 5 is less than 10, that is the question. Hmm? The answer is yes. Okay, or the correct answer is true. Does X is greater than 10? Does 5 is greater than 10? True, right? So I told you true is non-zero value, right? And false is 0. So here, once this condition part is executed, if it is true, the control goes inside the if block. This is called a if block. So whatever is there inside if, that will be executed, right? Whatever part is there inside it, right? So there can be one more. I will divide this, right? Right. Printer. On the next statement, I have written that, right? Hello, dear friends. Welcome to Codemithra. So now there are two statements. There can be 50 statements. There can be 100 statements. Okay. So I'm telling, okay, the compiler, if this condition is true, execute this. If condition is false, don't execute this. That's all. If condition is false, skip this. It will be skipped. Okay. And the control anyhow, whether this is executed or not executed, control is going to reach here. Okay. So if I run this program, you will get output as the earlier one. Right. Hello dear friends, welcome to Codemithra outside the condition. Right. Now suppose this X contains not 5 as a 15. Right. X contains 15. Now in this case, when control reaches here, then is X is less than 10? Is 15 is less than 10? The answer is no. Okay. It is, the condition is false. And I told you, when condition is false, the control doesn't go inside the if block, but will go next statement after the if. What is the next statement after the if? This one is the first statement or next statement as soon as if block is over, right? So if I run this program, then it will print this outside the condition, right? It means the decision is false and control didn't go inside the if block. But this whole, this much from this end to this end, this is skipped. Whether this is executed, yes, because without the execution, decision cannot be made, right? So this is how if is written, right? If I write, suppose x is less than or equal to 10. If I write here 10. Now here x, what is the condition written? Check whether x is less than or equal to 10. It is basically 10, right? But in this case, the program one, the condition will be true, and all these three printf statements will be printed, right? So it will print, hello dear friends, welcome to Codemithra outside the condition. Alright. Now, if I write statement like this, whether x is less than 10, then in that case, the condition will be false. Only last printf statement will be executed, that is outside the condition. So somewhere you may need less than sign operator. Somewhere, depending upon the situation, you may need less than or equal to operator. In the same fashion, somewhere you may need greater than operator, somewhere you may need greater than or equal to operator. The same happens as far as equal to operator is concerned. So if I write equal to, right, then this program will be executed, right? Since executed, and it will print all three messages inside the if printf. Because what is the reason? Reason is that the contents of x are 10, the right hand side value is 10, both are same, both are compared. Okay, because it is asking a question whether x is equal to 10. Okay, here 10 is not getting assigned to x. Okay, this is assignment operator, this is relational operator. X is whether x and 10 are same. Yes, condition is true, so it will coincide. So suppose I write here for you, right? In that case, if I compile and run the program again, that block won't be executed. That block won't be executed because the condition is false, right? So this is how if block is written, right? I hope that is clear to you. Now, the next if is one of the control structure. The next it is uh, little modification in the earlier control structure. Okay, here like if else is also a keyword in C. And what is the syntax? If condition same. Okay, so this is same. This much is same. And below that there would be else part. Else having its own block, own pair of curly braces, own body. So this is called if block, and below that we call it is a else block, right? Else block. So these are mutually exclusive blocks. What do you mean by mutually exclusive? It is like our coin. There could be head or tail. Light switch can be on or off. Here also, if condition is true, if block is executed. If condition is false, else block is going to be executed. So either of these two are guaranteed to be executed. This is different than if block, right? So you need to recognize those situations during your program, whether you need if or whether you need if and else. Okay? But as of now, I cannot tell you immediately uh, which are the programming situations where you need to think about whether you will go for if or if else. Okay? And even if I tell you, you may not be able to understand or imagine or no, uh, you cannot think. This is not the right time. This is not the right moment. But in real life, perhaps I will give you one the earlier example. As I said, in the morning, actually, I said you, if if power comes, I will conduct a session. Right? Now, what sentence I told you, you can correlate them with the first control structure, that is the if control structure. What does if say? If condition is true, do this. If condition is false, don't do this. That's all. But it is that that first control structure is not saying what what it will do if condition is false. No, it is not telling explicitly anything. Right? Likewise, my sentence to you in the morning. What I told you, if power comes, I will conduct a session. Okay. So power comes, I am conducting session. But if condition is false, if power had not come at all, in that case, what I will do, that is my lookout. I have not told you anything. Okay. I have not told you anything. So I may sleep, I may go outside to meet my friends, right? I may study, I may open some ebook and study. I may write some programs. I may check some assignments written by students. So I may do anything. Okay? But my condition was limited to your uh, session. So I told you, if power comes, I will conduct a session. That's it. If power doesn't come, you do not know anything what I am going to do, right? So that is if. But every time it doesn't help. Sometimes you need if and well as else. So you need to tell explicitly what is to be done. What is to be done if condition is true. What is to be done if condition is false. That's all, right? So, for example, if I ask you, if I ask you whether 4 is even number or odd number, right? So you will say, sir, it is even number. If I ask you whether 50 is even number or odd number, you will say, sir, it is even number. If I ask you whether 173 is even number or odd number, you will say it is odd number, right? Now, how do you actually immediately you can tell me whether a particular number is even or odd? Only because you know that in school days mathematics we have been taught that the numbers divisible by 2 are even numbers and numbers which are not divisible by 2 are odd numbers, right? As simple as it is. So can we write a program? Yes, we can write a program. So let's write the program, right? So in the same editor we will write the program. So if I declare a variable like int x, int num, right? Int num is equal to 4, right? So how we can decide whether number is positive, whether number is even or odd? I will write which number is even, right? Though divisible by 2 are even number. Now check how I will write the condition. Num mod 2 equal to 0, right? If the number is even, yes. Now, what I told you about the modulus operator in first chapter. Okay. What does the modulus operator give? It gives the remainder. It gives the remainder. We say that if number is divisible by 2, it means the remainder is 0. Right? When it is divisible by 2, number is remainder is 0. Right? So num mod 2, if it is 0, okay, then the condition will be checked. Okay, because num contains 4. 4 mod 2. What is the 4 mod 2? I told you yesterday. We have seen that program of addition of two numbers, multiplication of two numbers, division of two numbers, right? So that num mod 2 is 0. So if 0 is equal to 0, yes, it is 0. So number is even. Let's check whether the same works for 5. What is 5 divided by 2? 5 divided by 2. What is the remainder? 1. 1 equal to 0. Hmm? No, condition is false. The control goes in the else part, and it should print the number is odd, right? So let's check here. The number is odd, right? No, this is, as I told you yesterday, this is a hard coded. So let's modify this program, right? Printf, okay? Enter any number, okay? Enter an integer, right? And write scanf %d, and since it is a scanf, we need to write address of operator of a num, right? Now this program will be executed for any number you are going to enter, right? So if I enter suppose 4562, it will say number is even. If I run again, if I enter a very huge number, it will say number is odd, right? Number is odd. Now here, if you compare along with the first control structure, that is a uh, uh, if control structure. Here we exclusively, rather explicitly, we are telling what is to be done if condition is true, what is to be done if condition is false. So this will be executed when condition is true. This will be executed in condition is false. So either of them are are going to be executed. Either of them is going to be executed. Definitely both cannot be executed. Right? Light switch cannot be on as well as off. Okay? Light switch can be on or off. Mutually exclusive events. So these are mutually exclusive events. This is the if block, this is else block. This will be executed, this won't be executed. If this is not executed, 100% this is going to be executed. Right? Let's take another example. Right? Let's check whether number is negative or a positive. Right? So right here comment, right at the top, write the comment. Comment is written in a pair of slash star and star slash, right? So a program to find whether a number is negative or positive, right? So I will do the I will make changes here only, right? So how a condition can be written now? I will write if num is, right, if its num is less than 0, right, number is positive. Sorry, negative, right, and positive, right? So can't we see that to find, to determine whether a particular number, whether a particular integer is positive or negative, we need to use decision control structure. Without decision control, it is not possible, right? It is not possible. So you have written if, just compare it along with the syntax. If is a keyword followed by condition. Condition has to be written inside a pair of brackets, round brackets, whatever you write inside this is the condition. So a written condition. Condition is written using relational operators. So if num is less than 0, the number is negative. Condition is true, then condition this will be executed. If condition is false, that means num is not less than 0. That means num is greater than 0. Then obviously control will go to else part, right? And whatever there that will be executed. Correct? See if I compile this program. If I run this program, I enter minus 45856. So it will say number is negative. Right? If I compile this program, if I say 66, number is positive. Right? Now there is no, I told you, one inside um, writing one condition inside another condition, right? What we call as the nesting of if else. It may happen sometimes, like in this program, because I run this program, right? If I run this program, if I enter 0, then it will say number is positive, right? But basically, as far as 0 is concerned, 0 is a special number. 0 is neither positive nor negative, right? 0 is neither positive nor negative. So, because what happens is, here it is giving number is positive only because this condition is failed. That's why it is telling. Okay? Because this moment it says that no, if num is less than 0, okay, basically num is 0. Okay, this thing whether num is less than 0, so it is checking as whether 0 is less than 0. So condition as far as 0 is less than 0, condition is false, right? So control goes at the other end, and whatever is there, it is executed. So we'll have to check. We'll have to write. We'll have to write one more condition, like inside else. If I write if num is equal to 0, right? I will write printf number is neither negative nor positive, right? And I will write this as a else part, right? This is a else part. So let's check. Simple. Now let's compile this program. Okay, and run this. If I enter 45, it will say number is positive. If I enter minus 78, it will say number is negative. But now if I say enter 0, number is neither negative nor positive. How does it work? When number is less than 0, suppose whenever I entered minus 66, this condition is true. So it says number is negative. No question of execution of this, right? So as soon as this statement is executed, the control reaches from this point to the return statement directly. Whole this part is skipped, right? Now when suppose I enter 50, here I enter 50. So this condition is tested. Whether 50 is less than 0, no, condition is false. The control goes to else part. Inside else part, it checks whether num is equal to 0. Again, this condition is false because we have entered 50. So it goes to the else part. And it's directly straight away prints number is positive. Because one thing is sure, if it is not a negative, okay, and positive as well, it is going to be 0. Okay? So it prints it. Now this can be written in multiple ways. It may happen that you write, you can write if num is greater than 0, right? And right here number is positive, right? And here I will write number is neither negative nor positive. So there are ways to write the any ways to write the program. Okay, anybody can write in any manner. This is how you can think, and this is how you will write. You will write on the basis of your thinking, right? So what I told you, mathematical formulas are not important. What do you think? How one should write the program step by step? That is important in learning any programming language, right? So if I enter 23, it will say it is a positive. How this is positive? Because num contains 23, 23 is not less than 0. So control goes to else part. If num is greater than 0, yes, 23 is greater than 0. So it just prints number is positive. Now, this else is associated with this if, inside if, right? So this, once this is executed, this will not be executed. This else is associated with this if. So this kind of if else ladder will be there. Okay, if then else, inside if there can be if else, inside else there can be if else, again inside that there may be if else. So depending upon the situations we need to create a ladder of if else statements, right? I hope this much is clear. Okay, and more than 70, right? It is distinction, right?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Marks are more than 60 and more than 60, it is
First class.
first class, right?
Yes.
If marks are greater than 50, then it is second class, right?
Yes.
Now, just tell me, a student who has got 75 marks, which class will you give him?
Distinction.
Why? Isn't it bigger than 60?
Yes.
Isn't it bigger than 50?
Yes.
So how
Okay.
will you? Huh?
Uh,
So now you will take decisions, right?
yes.
Whether if marks are greater than 70,
Hmm.
okay, you will declare him as a distinction,
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
right?
Yes.
If it is not less than, if it is less than 70, will you declare him as a first class?
Yes.
No. How?
Less than 70 means is more than 60, right?
Right, but if marks are suppose 45, then
Okay. 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 Okay.
will you declare him as a first class only because he is less than 70?
No. 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 No.
So
Okay.
you will think in a ladder format.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Got that?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So you will think whether marks are greater than 70, distinction, but you will come to the else part, right?
Hmm.
So inside else part again you will take you will on the basis of marks you will decide, no, right? On the basis of marks you will decide, but format has to be fixed. Format has to be fixed, no,
Yes.
policy has to be fixed.
Hmm.
Then we can design. Then we can directly select whether first class, second class, third class, or whatever. But that policy has to be fixed, and you are a policy maker of a programming, right?
Hmm.
We are going to write the logic. We are going to write the we are design the logic. So if how you really think if marks are greater than 70, it is going to be distinction, no doubt at all, right?
Hmm.
But marks are not greater than 70. Then you will go to the else part of that. Because if condition is false, right?
Hmm.
So you go to the else part. Inside else part, you will write if marks are greater than 60,
Then first class.
exactly. But it is not supposed true. Then it will go to the else part of that if.
Okay.
Got that?
Yes, 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 yes.
Got that?
Yes, sir.
Ah. Suppose I write, suppose I will write the rest of the program, right? I will directly write percentage, right?
Hmm.
Hmm. Because we won't take marks and that marks of 5 subjects calculate the percentage that, right? We will directly use the directly take the percentage from the user, right? For time being to understand the logic, right?
Yes, sir.
Enter percentage obtained, right?
Hmm.
Let scanf,
Percentage,
right?
comma, ampersand percentage.
Right, right.
Yes, sir.
Now we will start designing the code. If percentage is greater than or equal to 70, right? I told you, whenever if is there, as soon as you press the enter key, because that code block has got that facility, right?
Hmm.
When you write if condition, right?
Hmm.
When you press the enter key, right?
Hmm.
And put the opening curly brace, two curly braces will be there. These come automatically.
Okay, the framework.
Ah, the framework. So you don't need to worry about which is opening, which is closing, this, that. No confusion is going to be there, right?
Yes, sir.
So you will write inside this. You will write inside this what? Printf
Distinction.
distinction, right?
Yes.
Now,
Else.
if percentage is not greater than 70, it means else, right?
Hmm.
Here you are not going to check right if else because ahead of else there is no condition part, right?
Hmm.
You will put again pair of curly braces. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So now you will check here what if percentage is greater than or equal to
60.
60. Right. Put the braces right here. Printf what
First
first
class.
class, right?
Yes, sir.
Suppose it is not even greater than 60. Will you declare him as a second class?
No.
No. Why?
Nothing is given.
No. Suppose the policy is fixed. Policy is fixed. If it is again uh, more than 50 and less than 60 second class, right?
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
More than 40 less than 50 it is a pass class and less than 40 fail. So this is the college policy.
Yes.
So we are going to put it in a programmatic way.
Okay.
Okay. So if percentage is greater than 60, this condition fails. So it will go to the else part, right? So what you will write inside else? Will you write here directly printf as a second class?
No, we have to declare something.
We have to write again the condition.
Yes.
If percentage is greater than or equal to
50.
50. right?
Yes, yes.
Here you will write printf second class, right? But still college policy has said that if marks are more than 40 and less than 50, then it is going to be a pass class. So again inside this, for this f, there is else, right? You'll write here if, right, percentage is greater than or equal to 40, he'll be printf pass class. And else of this is a fell. This is how the ladder is created. If I run this code, suppose I enter 55, right?
Yes, yes.
It will give you second class. Why? Because whether 55 is greater than 70? No. Should go to the else part. Whether 50 is greater than 60? No. So it goes to the else part of this if, right? Inside this else. If percentage is greater than 50, yes. So it will print this second class, right?
Hmm.
Will it go to the else part?
No.
No, because this else is associated with this if. So there is no question of executing this part. Got that?
Yes, yes.
There is a one more solution because this code becomes complex and confusing if you go inside and inside. A couple of levels we can understand. Beyond that, our brain stops to think about this, right?
Yes, yes.
So Dennis Ritchie has given solution on this. Tomorrow we will see that solution, right?
Okay, Suresh.
We can compact everything this, right?
Okay, sir.
But to see that we need to understand this, right?
Yes, yes.
Now suppose I enter this again and I said it is 78. So it gives distinction. What is the benefit of writing this code? Because as soon as this condition is true, okay,
Hmm.
since else is associated with this if, this whole part need not be executed. So it comes directly, the control comes directly from here to here at the end. Got that?
Yes, sir.
That is the beauty of this control structure. Suppose suppose I declare I entered 35. It gives us a fail. Why does it give us a fail? Because this condition is tested, right? Condition is false. This condition is false. So it goes to the other part of this if. It goes to else part. Inside else, again this condition is false. So it goes to the else part. Inside this else, this condition is false. It goes to the else part. Again there is no condition because he doesn't have more than 70, right?
Yes, yes.
More than 60, more than 50, more than 40. अभी इसके कुछ आगे है ही नहीं तो जो भी है वो फेल ही है ना.
Yes, yes, yes.
तो यहाँ भी कंडीशन चेक करने की जरूरत नहीं है. समझ गए?
हाँ, सर.
थोड़ा बहुत समझ गए होंगे.
हाँ, सर. समझा मैं.
So can we stop here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now 1 minute. I'll stop sharing this. Whatever I had taught you, right? This is available in animated course, right?
Yes.
So in the if it is there, if else it is there, right? How to use the relational operator, it is there. Okay, the values of relational operator, everything whatever I have taught you